Hello, my name is Lucy and welcome to my vlog. After analysing my class's set text, The Club, written by David Williamson, and the related text, The Shawshank Redemption, directed by Frank Darabont, I feel as though I have assessed the ideas that address the overarching focus on the effect institutions have on individuals within these texts. I have a finer understanding of what really takes place within the institutions and the effect they can have on mankind. Both texts highlight ideas about the effects that institutions have on individuals, for example, corruption, power, defiance, and hope. So stay tuned and listen up for if you want to hear some more information. The idea of corruption is heavily present throughout the club. The members of the club all have different levels of authoritative positions. However, many members use manipulation and intelligence to gain a higher point of power. Williamson uses the characterization of Jerry Cooper to demonstrate the abuse of power within the play. Jerry uses his mastermind skill of manipulation to advantage himself to gain success and money, with little regard to his morals or the loyalty of the club. Once Jerry has gained a notion of power, he can be seen to be a prime example of the abuse of power which leads to corruption within the institution. Jerry is focused on the club as a business and a source to fortune, not a sporting club. His goal of power is to allow him the upper hand to make the big calls behind the scenes and behind the safety of other members, basically using them as a shield. Williamson uses dialogue to clearly show his immoral abuse of power. Within this sporting institution, Jerry is able to use his sneaky and manipulative intelligence in a cunning way. This is a commonly seen effect that institutions can unfortunately have on individuals. So stay tuned and we'll talk about the idea and power of corruption in The Shawshank Redemption to link it back to the club. Oh, hey there, sorry, didn't mean to keep you waiting. So, I'll elaborate a little bit more now on the idea of power and corruption in The Shawshank Redemption. So it kind of plays an essential role in discovering the effects that institutions have on individuals. In Shawshank, almost every scene in which the inmates interact with the prison staff, we see a clear role of power being exuded from the guards. However, Darabont didn't exclusively focus on the authoritative power throughout the movie. He also clearly demonstrates the micro-level power plays within the gangs of the prison. For example, the sisters, who prey on Andy as a newcomer, show evident abuse of social power and add a sense of entrapment and suffocation to the isolated atmosphere of Shawshank. Another major power Darabont presents throughout Shawshank is the role that the tainted institution has on corrupting an individual's free self. This negative effect of long-term institutionalization on an individual can be seen through the character of Brooks. Brooks was sentenced to life imprisonment, and his inability to cope with life outside the prison walls and in mainstream society implies Shawshank's complete failure to rehabilitate him into a functioning member of society. Brooks, after going through the ordinary motions of a free man's life, ultimately seeks out suicide as his only release to be truly free. Here we have a photo of Brooks. When you are sentenced to prison, it's like a third grader going to a new school. Like, you're scared, you feel isolated, you don't know anybody around you, like you're scared of the big teachers and like the other bullies who might bully you because you might not be just like them. It's just like that. Like, Andy walks into a prison and he has to worry about not only the guards, but he has to worry about other inmates potentially raping him, which does actually happen in the movie. Like, it is hard to maintain a sense of hope from the moment that he set foot in the prison. But when we're watching the opening scene of Shawshank, when the camera is gliding into the prison, before you come in, it's offset by green, bright tones of colour. So outside the walls, it's just like, happy and a sense of freedom. And then once the camera has glided over, you just get a sense of like, just nothing except hope. You have nothing in prison but hope. It's all the stone walls are grey and stone, and you have the guards in the background, which just kind of enhances the glooming feeling. And I quote, you need it so you don't forget it. There's something that they can't get to, they can't touch, hope, which is what Andy says throughout the in the middle of the movie. And when I think about my set text, The Club, and try and relate this back to Shawshank, you don't really, like, in The Club, you don't really get a sense of hope, but more feel that they don't, like, there is no really hope for them at all. Whereas in prison, you have nothing but hope. So this has come to the end of my video. In conclusion, institutions really can have some major effects on people, whether it's a prison or a sporting club or even a mental institution. Someone can go into a mental institution and they can still feel like going into a mental institution when you have problems can sometimes make it worse, being surrounded by all these other people, because you may be on a scale of 1 to 10 2 crazy, surrounded by people who are about a level 8 crazy. So, you know, it just kind of like institutions can really have a bad effect on people. And so I'm just going to wrap it up there. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you. Grey and like grey. It's like just grey everywhere. All the stone, all the inside,